I'm Whitney.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Deb.
We're three best friends who love nerdy things.
Well, some people think we're nerdy, but we think we're pretty awesome.
This is our nerdiest thing.
Hello, fellow nerds. And welcome to our nerdiest thing. Today, we're finishing our discussion of Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. We're talking about chapters 23 through the epilogue and the bonus chapter titled Skullduggery.
My favorite word.
Yeah, that's a good word. Before we get into it, Deb, will you please tell us everything about our nerdiest cocktail?
Yeah, because if you listen to Tuesday, you don't get shit. You want to know about this podcast episode? Drink, you have to listen tonight. Tonight's drink is named Plucking Skullduggery, and it's themed after eyeball proposals.
Aww.
This drink pairs well with annual August showdowns, gougy left eye sockets, and a dragon breeding kink. And it might cause you to get married at sunrise.
Aww, that's
it's so sweet that they do, and I love it.
I love that
so much. I love this book. I don't know if I've ever told you guys. It's a cherry amaretto sour. The recipe is on our website. It's on our Instagram. It's fucking everywhere.
It is.
Go find it.
Fucking delicious, too.
It is really good. Yeah. It's like the cherry part of cherry limeade is what it tastes like to me.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
I like it a lot.
Oh, Mindy, it's time for the Nerdy and Dirty recap. The wheel has spoken.
It's me, and I'm ready.
It's Mindy.
I'm ready.
It said Mindy. That's what the wheel sounds like.
It does. It sounds like Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah. Remember, Deb, a minute ago when you were like, do you want another cocktail? And I was like, nope. That was why.
Whitney gets to a point where she's so drunk, she starts bragging about how little alcohol she's had and how much water she's had.
I was going to say, it's not how little alcohol, it's how much water to counteract it.
4 bottles of water.
Oh, man. That's how you know it's been a good night.
Her coolness level goes way up.
Oh, yeah.
As much as her water level.
That's what I'm known for, is my coolness.
The water level is directly proportionate to the coolness level.
That's probably right. Oh, Mindy.
This is called Our Nerdiest Thing.
I've got 30 seconds on the clock. You have
All
30
right.
seconds to tell us what happened in this section. And
All right, let's
away
go.
we go.
Sloane and Rowan are going to be late, but choose to have sex instead. They stop to see Lachlan, and Sloane bullies him into helping Lark move into her new apartment. Rowan gets a tattoo to cover his scars, and Sloane designed it. Sloane and Rowan kill Stephen Rostis, and Rowan watches lovingly as Sloane works her web magic. Rowan proposes with a ring in Stephen's eye socket and a beautiful heartfelt speech. In the epilogue, some phantom dude creeps on Rowan and Sloane and vows to kill Lachlan. In the bonus chapter, Rowan is up to some skullduggery, but distracts Sloane by chasing her with a purple vibrator and a purple dinosaur onesie. He surprises Sloane at her girl spa getaway, then they get married. And Lachlan walks Sloane down the aisle at the end.
Yeah. No, that was really good. This was a shorter section,
Yeah.
but still a lot of things happened.
I know, because it was a lot of different things.
Yes.
Right? Like every chapter was something different.
The epilogue was a different focus. The
Totally.
bonus chapter was a
Yeah.
different focus. Yeah. That was really good. Bravo.
Yeah, I was very proud of myself.
I'm giving you a golf clap.
Golf claps all around.
Yeah, good job. Well, Mindy, it's still you
Yes.
for our nerdiest vocabulary.
I'm super excited about our nerdiest
Ooh,
vocabulary.
tell us everything.
So when I first read this, I was like, what the hell is a bell end?
Oh.
Because he calls it. He calls him a bell end. Like it's definitely a derogatory term,
I
right?
thought it just meant butt. Tell me.
Actually,
What part of the book was that in?
it's he's talking to Lachlan. I think it's when they're in
When they go to
Atelier.
the leather.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
The leather store.
And it's when they're leaving. I think he's like, bye, bell end or whatever.
You guys are getting nerdily specific.
Yeah. So bell end is actually slang for the head of the penis.
Oh.
That is quite
Because
the nice little thing I'm going to start saying.
exactly.
Oh.
This is so going into my
Stop
vocabulary.
being such a small little bell.
So I guess it's because that's what it looks like. Because it looks like a bell on the end of the.
Does it ring when you?
So
Every time it rings, an angel gets a swing.
Ding, 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 ding.
oh my gosh. So it is used in the UK as an insult for like a jerk or someone
Yeah.
acting stupid. It's a bit similar to calling someone a dickhead.
Sure.
And now it's the only insult I want to use.
I know. I kind of love that.
So here are some fun facts about the word bellend.
Oh, I thought you were going to say bellends. Like,
Here are some fun bellends. Resand. Rowan. Okay. No, so the Sunday Sport, which is a British tabloid, likes to publish headlines about people sticking their bell ends into hot food.
Oh.
What? Yeah. Like that's like a thing that you do?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like American Pie style?
I guess so.
But not American.
Only in the UK. Yeah.
All right.
In 2017.
Hold on. We have like 15% of our listeners are from the UK. So I want to hear more about
Yeah. I mean, I want to know,
like, to read this. Is it just something funny that they do because their magazine's so ridiculous?
Yeah.
I want to know more.
I mean, it is a tabloid. So it's, it's like.
But does the National Enquirer here have a section on people putting their dick in hot food?
I don't know. I don't read the National
Someone
Enquirer.
let us know.
Yeah. Somebody
Inquiring minds want to know. So in 2017, when dancer Michael Flatley, remember this dude?
Lord of the Dance.
Yes. So he actually agreed to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration. So someone had the website changed to so the website www.colossalbellend.com redirects to Flatley's website. I checked, and sadly, it is no longer active. But
his legs flail about independent from his body.
Lord Flatley, or wait, Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance.
Okay, this one's my favorite. A 2014 Buzzfeed quiz helped people determine how much of a bell end they are. Oh. Yes, I took the quiz. I got 11 out of 50, and here's my result. You are a bit of a bell end. Let's be honest. Everyone is a bit of a bell end, and if they say anything else, they're just lying. The good news is that there are plenty of much bigger bell ends out there than you, so that's something, right?
Okay, did you link this quiz in the show notes?
I did.
Okay, because we're gonna all Whitney and I need to take it, and then we'll put all of our results on the Instagram channel.
So
I feel like I'm gonna get more than 11 out of 50.
I feel like I'm gonna be 49 out of 50.
Oh, that's fun.
Fun
Thank
facts.
you so much, Mindy.
Thank you so much.
That might be one of my favorite vocabularies ever.
Those are. There have been several fun vocabs from this book. That's that Bryn Weaver. That talent.
That Bryn Weaver.
She's going somewhere. Well, let's go into the details of this section and talk about our favorite moments. I can go first. Yeah. Mine's fun. Mine was the dragon onesie.
That was pretty
I
fun.
kept writing in my notes dinosaur onesie, and I'm realizing right this second that it was not a dinosaur.
It was not Barney. It was not Barney, Whitney.
Well, because it was purple, that's almost
maybe that's why. Yeah. But I love
and
that
velvet.
That was way back at the beginning of the book, right? Like that was their first competition, the first time they spent any time together.
Because she was reading Dragon Smut or whatever.
I love that he remembered that he acted on it, that he like went all in and got a purple matching dildo, and he went like in character.
Yeah.
He was like method acting. Totally.
I have more to say about all this later.
I thought it was so funny, and that just made me laugh so much. And she needs fun. Sloane needs fun.
I will say that was my biggest revelation, was that he is always listening to what she says.
Yes.
Because she even talks about double penetration, like joking around about that, what was in the book, and he gives her a little bit of DP.
And he does, yeah. I know. I loved that so much.
The DP?
Well, the whole scene. That's a personal matter.
With your pleated rim.
What were your all's favorite moments?
What was yours, Deb?
I love that Sloane's now creating art and maps in color. I just think that's really special. When we did our ACOTAR episodes, we talk about how important art is and being able to paint. And she's always done black and white, and Rowan has really started to help her heal from her trauma. Either that, or he just is like fucking her so well that she like sees color now. It's like he's like, I'm gonna fuck that color back into you. But yeah, no, he really is helping her, and like I just love that part.
Yeah, that was really sweet. I love that too.
That was kind of mine too. I just thought it was adorable how Rowan is about Sloane using color in her drawing of his tattoo. Like he's her biggest cheerleader. He got so excited when he was like, "You did this and it's in color." I just thought that was really sweet. And I also love Sloane interacting with Lachlan. We get a little bit. We don't get a lot of that in this book, and he's just so grumpy, and she loves messing with him. And I picture her when she's leaving, giving him a big hug, and he's being all curmudgeonly about it.
But he likes it.
But he likes it. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that he calls her Spider Lady.
I know.
I like their dynamic a lot. Yeah. Well, we're going to bring it down a little bit now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Talk about our least favorite moments. Mine is just the whole epilogue, which is the introduction of the Phantom. And I know it's necessary. I know that it's setting up book 2. I've read book 2. I didn't
realize
I
that
get
was
it.
the Phantom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because one of my questions later is, do they not ever go after the Phantom?
Yeah, that's
the Phantom in book 2?
That is Leather and Lark.
Well, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's I get it as like a plot device, but I want Sloane and Rowan to have like a moment of peace, you know? And
well, he's not going after Sloane and Rowan. It's fine.
well, and it made me, at least for me in my reading experience, it made the sweetness of the Skullduggery bonus chapter like kind of bittersweet and sting a little bit because they don't know that this is happening yet.
Yeah.
And we know it's that dramatic irony again, right? We talked about where we knew that David was making Rowan say these horrible things to Sloane, but Sloane doesn't know that.
Right.
It's the same thing where we as the audience know that there's this bad guy lurking in the shadows that's going to wreak havoc on their lives and they have no idea.
Right.
And they think like, yay, we just get to live happily ever after and go kill people. Hooray.
I will say, if you listen to the
That was
audio, especially in the second book when he's doing like his little stupid monologues, he sounds like he belongs in like a southern murder mystery. And he's like, well, I do say. And then the Lord Jesus comes down on me.
Like evangelical or something.
There's a movie,
like
gosh,
good, but awful.
I
you know?
cannot think of the name of the movie. There's a movie from the past 5-ish years where Robert Pattinson is like a Southern minister.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like that kind
the
of
devil something.
I cannot remember what it's called, but
The Devil in Me or something like that.
something. But
I can't remember.
that's the kind of that is who I think of when I read.
Does he sound like
that.
he's from Jersey in that too?
No, it's like really over the top Southern.
Yeah.
But it's like hellfire brimstone kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
but
anyway.
when you listen to it, it definitely like gives you even more the creeps because he's so fanatical.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Well, and in that scene too, I noticed I still don't remember all of Leather and Lark.
I don't either.
I'm looking really forward to deep diving into that because I read it so fast. But I didn't realize, like, I was remembering that he did this. It's like he's trying to get revenge on Rowan because Rowan killed his brother, which I don't remember who that was, but we'll find out.
I genuinely have no idea.
I don't
I'm
either.
sure we do find out, but I don't remember.
I don't remember either. So he's stalking Lachlan. So since, basically an eye for an eye, you killed my brother, I'm going to kill yours.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, you're the dirty rat that killed my brother. Now I'm going to kill you.
dirty rotten scoundrel. So I wanted to look up and see like revenge killings. I don't know why that was fascinating to me. So I did find
I've done true crime every single week.
So I did find a couple of really interesting, some gruesome, some funny-ish. Anyway, so I wanted to share a few of these that I found.
Make me laugh, Mindy.
Yes. First, there is Carl V. Erickson. And the story goes that a guy named Norman Johnson played a locker room prank on Carl.
That's an unfortunate name.
I know, right? So he played a locker room prank on Carl when they were in high school, and he put a jockstrap on his head, which, embarrassed Carl. But it was just a prank, and everyone kind of went on their merry way. Except that it turns out that Carl could hold a grudge. And 50 years later, he shows up at old Norm's house and
50?
kills him as revenge.
50?
Yes.
For a jockstrap?
Yeah.
Carl.
That's some
Simmer
Billy
down,
Madison
Carl.
revenge right there.
That's crazy.
Talk about holding a grudge, right? Like
That makes me think of the Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison.
That's what I just said.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Some Billy Madison anger right there.
It
is what I
is,
said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah.
We
Carl.
think way too much alike.
So, yeah, Carl
Yikes.
can hold a grudge.
50 years.
Yep.
Wow.
So next we have another unfortunate name, Marvin Heemeyer.
Oh.
So this poor guy just couldn't catch a break.
Marvin.
He was a small business owner in a small town, and he was very upset because his neighbors, he lost a property dispute between them, and he was super mad at the town for not taking his side. So like he couldn't get any permits, and he couldn't get anything done on this property, and it was part of his business. So he's pissed, right? So he spends about several months modifying his bulldozer into basically an armored tank with steel and concrete.
Oh, Marvin.
Then Marvin gets in his little tank and proceeds to drive it around town for 2 hours and demolish everything in his way. He destroyed 13 buildings, including a bank, the police station, the town hall, a newspaper office, the former mayor's house, and a hardware store.
Oh my
I'm just going to put a little
gosh.
plug out there. Try therapy.
Yeah.
For real.
For real.
Go to therapy.
So even though the bulldozer was named Killdozer,
Oh,
remarkably,
Marvin.
there were no fatalities
Oh,
except
good.
for Marvin, who shot himself after the bulldozer fell into the basement of the hardware store and he was stuck.
It fell into the basement.
Yeah, he didn't realize there was a basement
it's
in there.
concrete and steel.
So he drives in and there's a basement there. And so he falls through the basement and
Oh my
gets stuck.
gosh. That is like slapstick comedy.
Right?
Yeah, but
With
why
a
did he
macabre
not?
twist.
Why did he hurt
Right.
himself? That's silly.
That's
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
that's not okay.
I mean, but
Again,
2
try
hours
therapy.
Like,
Therapy,
the,
yeah.
the police could not do anything. They're
Right.
Like, right?
How do
How
you-
do you
Stop, sir.
Halt.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I'm
No.
glad he didn't hurt anyone.
I know. Thank goodness. So this one's the really disturbing one, but like also
great.
like girl power. So this guy's name is Aku Yadav, I guess. So it was in New Delhi. So this motherfucker was true lowlife. He was known to have raped more than 200 women. And he mostly preyed on women from the slums of New Delhi. So they were considered like the untouchable caste and generally got zero help from the authorities.
Sure.
So he gets away with this, right?
Just like serial killers.
Just
in
like
America.
Right.
a lot of women.
Yeah.
So he even,
unfortunately.
Jack the Ripper. I mean,
bribed the police and would like threaten anyone who tried to turn him in by saying he would throw acid on them. Like he is a real messed up guy. So one of his victims, though, her name is Usha Narayani. She was able to finally get someone to say that they would arrest him. So, but the residents of the slums, they're like, this is going way too slow for us. So they went to knock down his house. And he feared for his life so much that he finally surrendered to the police. So
Good.
he's going to go to court, right? The next day in court, Usha and the other victims, they kind of heard through the grapevine that he would probably escape punishment yet again. And they got pissed off, as you would.
Yeah.
And they filled the courthouse. All these victims, they were armed with stones, vegetable knives, anything they could use as a weapon. And as he passed by the women, he actually taunted one and called her a prostitute. Well, she snapped. And so she started... Okay, I'm trying not to laugh because she beat him with her sandal. But like she was like... Right? So she starts beating him with her sandal. And then, so you know that whole like mom mentality where
Yep.
somebody starts. So the other women quickly
one person
swarm
starts
him.
and everyone else is like, here we
I'm
go.
sorry, but if you rape me, I'm going to beat you with my
Right.
fucking sandal.
Yeah.
So
Don't touch
well,
me.
they all, you know, they've got knives and shit and
Yep.
stones in their pockets. So they start beating him.
Oh,
This
no.
mob got so violent that the police guards were overwhelmed and they just left. And they just let them.
Well, you know, they were like, dude, you fucking reap what
Yeah,
you
no
sow.
kidding.
This is
Right.
what you get.
So this
Right.
attack lasted more than 10 minutes. And when all was said and done, they just left him dead on the
Yeah.
floor. He had 70 stab wounds and his penis was cut off.
oh no.
So he got his. He got his.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, well, then there's, speaking of penises being cut off, everybody, I feel like everybody's probably
Lorena?
heard about Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena
Okay,
Bobbitt.
so she's from Arkansas.
Oh, really?
And I went to high school in Arkansas, and they used to say there was this city, and this is awful, but they'd be like, "Hey, you know, Lorena Bobbitt used to live around here," and I was like, "Oh yeah, where?" And they're like, "Hackett." all right.
Okay.
And I mean, I think she's
Clever.
from Arkansas. That might have just been something that they said down
Right.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Womp womp.
So yeah, this one's pretty famous, a pretty famous revenge
Yeah,
story.
I remember this.
Nobody died in this one though, so there's that. But
he
it's,
had to get a prosthetic penis.
it's no, he didn't. They reattached it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Tell
so
me more.
yeah.
Christ.
So Lorena was fed up with John Wayne Bobbitt because
she had enough.
she was being abused and sexually assaulted by this man. He was her husband. So one night, she just waited till he was asleep. She's in the kitchen getting some water, and she grabs a Ginsu carving knife because it's there, and she marches into the bedroom and cuts off his penis. So then,
As you should, girl.
I'm pretty sure they did a either a My Favorite Murder or a Morbid of this.
Oh, I'm
And
sure.
I think, don't quote me on this, please, but I think that he had threatened to like kill her. Like it was getting like really
Bad.
Okay,
It
any
escalates.
abuse is serious, but it had escalated to a point where she was like really scared.
And I think
I believe that
he had come. What I read said he'd come home that night and actually raped her because she didn't want to do it, and he did it anyway. But so she leaves the house with his penis in her hand. Okay,
Best hand job he ever got.
she drives around for a bit. She's driving with the penis in her hand. And then she was kind of struggling to drive one-handed, so she throws the tallywacker out the window.
Good for her.
So then she's like, oh shit, what did I just do? So she calls the police, confesses. And so these policemen had to dig around this random yard that she told them where it was, find the penis, and after a good wash with antiseptic and an ice pack, they drive it to the hospital to be reattached.
Yeah.
And they did reattach it.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that they reattached it. I thought it was a prosthetic thing,
Yeah,
too.
nope. So this piece of shit did horrible things to his wife. I'm not going to go into detail, but look it up. There's the stuff she accused him of. It's just horrific. And he got acquitted of marital sexual assault by a jury.
Of course he did.
This is why she had to cut
What
his
was this,
fucking
like
dick off.
1994 or something?
Yes, 93, I think.
Okay, again, instead of try therapy, try not treating women as property. Stop
Right.
raping them. Stop abusing them.
I
Stop
feel
doing
like,
this shit.
I mean, I was really young when that happened, but I feel like it took way too long for
It happened in 93, and then she got out. Well, it ended in 95.
I feel like though, like the story for too long stayed. This crazy lady cut off her husband's
Yeah,
dick
yeah.
instead
Yes, it
of
did.
like
Focusing
no,
on-
here's what was happening.
Well, because he got acquitted from it,
Yeah.
and he kept changing his story too. So I still don't know how that all went about. But she was found not guilty of what she did by reason of insanity.
Good.
So all she had to do,
not for insanity.
well,
No.
but all she had to do was spend 45 days in a mental institution, and then she was released.
Oh well,
So she was out. Now,
I would do that.
John
Dang.
Wayne Bobbitt, on the other hand,
She's like, I'll cut off
Like,
someone's
sure.
dick if it's only 80 days.
45 days in an inpatient
all right.
facility. I'll see ya.
Robbie, be nice to your wife.
but this dickhead, this bell end, tries to capitalize on this
Yeah.
incident repeatedly. So first he forms a band that's called No Lie, The Severed Parts. And it failed. And then he decides he's going to do a couple of adult films.
I remember that he did.
Do
that,
you
yeah.
know what they were called?
No.
Bobbitt Uncut
Oh.
and Frankenpenis.
Oh no! Why would you agree to do a movie called that?
I mean, what else are you going to do once you've had your dick cut off?
I
mean-
guess you could work any office job. That
I wanna
is
know who's watching these
something. Somebody
gross
did.
movies.
Somebody did. I
Ugh.
guarantee you that.
No, thank you.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. That's crazy. Man, thank
So,
you.
those
Mindy.
were fun revenge stories.
That was a roller coaster.
It was. Some ups and downs
I
there,
felt
for
a lot
sure.
of feelings during your deep dive this week. Oh man, that was your least favorite moment?
Well, that
Yeah?
was your least favorite.
Oh,
moment.
my least favorite moment. What was your least favorite moment?
Pleated rim again.
Yeah.
Well, and also
Hole, rim, like it was said
Just some.
several times.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Too many buttholes.
well, and then furthermore, I can get behind anal to some degree. Oh my god, I just realized what that's like.
I think the anal gets behind you.
Yeah. So I'm not like opposed necessarily to that or even reading about it. I kind of draw the line at coming inside the ass though, because that just.
It's an enema, y'all.
yeah.
But then, especially when Rowan parts her ass cheeks to watch it drip out.
I could not.
No,
I
thank
I
you.
pretended like that didn't happen.
Yeah,
I read
no,
it
thank
and I
you.
thought, no.
Whatever floats your boat, but no,
delete.
that's not. That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. I don't want to yuck your yum. But,
No.
But yuck.
For
No?
me.
You know
For
what I
me.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if here's the thing, if it's consenting and that does it for
Yeah.
you, fine. But that I don't know.
No, that
Keep
it doesn't do
keep
it for
it to
me.
yourself.
Or in a condom.
Yeah. Was that really your least favorite moment, or were you just agreeing?
pleated
No,
rim.
pleated rim is always my least favorite.
Oh man, well that brings us to biggest revelation, which I had two, and mine are both kind of sweet. So I'll just go into it then. Bring us up from the pleated rims. So Rowan's arm sleeve tattoo and the surprise wedding in the bonus chapter, those were both my favorite or biggest revelations. The arm sleeve I thought was just a really sweet, beautiful moment because Sloane used color, which we talked about before, right? And Rowan, it's already been established in the book that she doesn't use color in her art because of the trauma in her past with the abusive teacher that she and Lark had shared back in school, and revealing that she can use color because of Rowan through a piece of art she's giving to Rowan, I just thought was really, really sweet. And the fact that he knows her so well and just makes it about her and that reveal of like her healing journey. I just really, he's the best. He's the best book
it's so
boyfriend.
funny that he can have such like golden retriever cinema.
Oh my
vibes.
gosh, yes, and only with her. His personality is not like that in any other context of life. And the surprise wedding is kind of the same kind of thing, but from Rowan to Sloane. Like Sloane, the tattoo was from Sloane to Rowan, right? And the surprise wedding is kind of the same thing, just in reverse, because he again knows her so well. He knows how much she is stressed out about planning this wedding, and he takes that burden from her, but still gives her the choice.
Yes.
I've done all these arrangements. If you want to do it this way, we'll do it this way. If you don't, that's totally fine.
Like, if you don't want to do it today, that's fine.
Yeah, he presents her with the option, but still doesn't make it seem like I did do a lot of work though. So if you could just do it, that would be, you know what I mean?
He doesn't make her feel like guilted into it.
Right. There's no pressure. It's truly like, I feel like this is what you want, but if it's not, that's okay. You know? And I really love that. He knows her and cherishes her and shows her that he cherishes her, and that's what she needs. And I just really love that. That's really sweet. What about you guys?
Mine was that I didn't think I could love this book any more than I already did, but I fell more in love with it.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
I love this book. It might be my favorite book of all time right now.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I just love it.
That's
I was
praise.
thinking the other day, because Halloween's coming up, about how I was reading this on Halloween like last year, and kids kept trying to trick or treat, and I was like, "Fucking leave me alone!"
Right?
God,
can't you see? I'm busy
trying to read, and it was like right when they had started to fuck, and so I was like, "God, come on,
take your candy and go."
Yeah. But I already said what my biggest revelation was. It was him listening to her about like the dragon porn.
Yeah. I forgot that you said that. Well, that takes us to a favorite spicy scene.
Okay. Rowan saying, "You better make yourself come because I'm right on the edge and we need to go." Made me laugh so hard. But what makes this scene so sexy is that she is remembering that last time she disobeyed him, he punished her.
Yeah.
And his punishment was licking stuff off her and edging her for hours. And I mean, like, don't threaten us with a good time.
Yeah.
Like, right. Yeah. Like, but that scene was left open enough to like really use your imagination, and that made it like really sexy.
Yeah. I think this is the same scene that because I just put the whole opening scene to chapter 23. Yeah. When it opens up, Sloane is on her knees and Rowan is talking her through it. And Sloane at one point says his words always set her off. And I wrote that quote down in my notes and wrote, "Me too, girly." But I really loved it. There's like a time jump from the end of the previous chapter, and I was like, only Bryn Weaver would do a time jump like into the middle of a sex scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I really enjoyed that.
Well, I enjoyed that sex scene too, right up until he watched stuff drip out of her ass. So I picked something that it was just more of like, I just loved this whole scene, and it's it's the specific part of the scene where he's doing the proposal and he wraps the ring. And this goes to your point, Deb, too, about him just knowing what she needs and what she likes and what, just knowing who she is. Yeah. And he wraps the ring in the napkin that he used when they first met.
I loved that.
Like
detail.
with the competition on it. And it's so romantic in a serial killer kind of way.
Yes.
Like, it's so odd. But first of all, that he stuck it in an eye socket.
A human corpse.
But then he also wraps it in this
something sentimental.
Yeah, it's just so the juxtaposition just makes it work.
How else was he going to propose to her?
It was like perfect. That's the thing.
Yeah, I really loved when at one point he's like, "Was this a bad idea? I thought it was really cute, but is it?" And she's like, "No, this is perfect." She's like, "Oh my God, good." that moment of self-doubt. He's like,
"Oh, shit,
I really thought
this
I thought this was good. Was this not good? Was this too much? I loved that so much. Only Bryn Weaver has the talent to take a scene that really is like bonkers and like weird and gross and like super dark and make it
romantic.
Yes, and make it like a beautiful like tearjerker moment. I loved that so much.
So, but that's I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that does go into my chapter MVP though, because my chapter MVP is Dr. Stephen Rostis, or whatever his name is. And the reason why is his presence earlier in the book makes Rowan and Sloane begin to understand their feelings for one another when they're at the ball in Boston.
Yeah.
And Rowan and Sloane finally get to unalive this guy together. That's been talked about the entire book. But the best part is when Sloane says, "Did you just propose with the ring you stuck in a guy's eye hole?"
Well, so that got me thinking about weird proposals because I think this counts as that, right?
Yeah, it does.
And so I found a whole article. It's a BuzzFeed article where they just ask like on Reddit and people answer. So these are my top 5, but the whole article is linked in the show notes if you want to go look at them. So these are allegedly real that people experienced. Yes. So these were my top 5. Here's the first one. My husband proposed to me butt naked in the middle of the night. It was pitch dark in our room, and I was about to fall asleep when I heard him rustling around. I turned on my cell phone flashlight and saw him kneeling down naked with a ring box. To this day, when friends ask how he proposed, I leave out the naked part. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's the best part.
I need more information. Like, why?
Yeah. What made him do that then? And,
right.
Yeah.
Like,
they had
what?
obviously been out drinking.
I mean, I feel like that, but I'm like, this is not enough information. So here's the next one. My ex-husband proposed to me in the parking lot of a Burger King
I'm seeing why he's ex.
Where he thought he met me.
Oh, shit.
This was not where we met. It had no significance in our relationship. It was actually where my best friend flashed him for the first time. For the first time.
That this happened multiple times.
What's going on at Burger King?
I mean, when I was my high school boyfriend for our first date took me to Taco Bell. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That's high school.
That feels apropos. Here's number 3. I ruined someone else's proposal. I was just really gassy. While eating at a restaurant, the guy at the table behind me was in the middle of proposing to his girlfriend, and I could not hold it in anymore.
They couldn't get up and walk to the fucking bathroom?
Apparently not.
God.
I let out a really loud fart while he was asking. And people were pissed at me for ruining their big moment.
Yeah, you could have gotten up and
you
left
literally
the room.
could have just like walked
You're
away.
being an asshole,
right?
With your asshole.
Yeah, take your pleated rim and get out of here.
Get the fuck out.
All right, here's number 4. My dad proposed to my mom by dumping cold water on her while she was in the shower. He ran away and hid because he knew she would run out upset and angry. So he left the ring with a single rose on her pillow. And I'm like, that is the dumbest way to propose.
Let me tell you,
while she's standing there dripping and naked.
Let me tell you, I want to spend my life with you by pissing you off.
Right?
Yeah.
That's so weird. And then
maybe it's because if she said no, he'd be like, well, it's probably because I threw water on her.
Yeah, it's
it's not because she didn't love me.
Probably because I'm a dumbass.
So many questions. And then here's number 5, the last one. My mom was asleep. My dad called my mom's dad asking for his permission to propose. And when he said yes, my dad immediately woke up my mom and asked her to marry him. My mom said, no, I want to go back to bed. The next day they talked about it more, and 17 years later they're still in love. I love that one. Was my favorite.
That's awesome.
That would have been me. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm sleeping.
It's the middle of the night.
God,
what are you thinking?
I want to go to bed.
Whitney, how did Robbie propose to you?
Oh, I was on a girls' trip. It was a whole big plan. Like everybody was in on. I had no idea. I was on a girls' trip with like my mom and my sister and cousins and stuff. And he showed up at the beach when we got there to like set up our stuff. Aww. He was waiting in the sand with the ring. It was really cute.
What about you, Mindy?
So Darren and I were going to see the play Rent. It was like the first run of it when it was here. And we went to this place here in town called Pat's Steakhouse, which used to be kind of a fancy restaurant. Now it's kind of gross. But so we went there and we were meeting another couple there, but before they got there, Darren's like sweating profusely. Okay. And
shout out to Darren.
I did not know this. I didn't know
buddy.
and I'm like, what? He was acting weird. And I was like, what? Is everything okay? And then he just kind of takes the box out and slips it and puts it on the table. It was really cute. He was so nervous about it. It was adorable.
That's really sweet.
That is really
I don't think
sweet.
I knew that's how he proposed to you. When you said the Robbie thing, though, I was like, oh, yeah, I did know that.
How about you?
We were finishing up college, and I used to put like hours and hours in the clay studio. My degree was in ceramics, and I would come home just like, I mean, you guys have seen me do art. Like, it's in my hair, the clay was. It's all over my face, right? And he had put rose petals from the front door to the bedroom of my apartment, and he was acting really weird. Same thing that whole week.
Skullduggery.
Skullduggery. And he had convinced me that this is how long ago it was. We've been together for 23 years, but he had convinced me that he had gotten me TiVo, and I needed to stay at the studio so he could like hook it up.
Yeah.
I was like convinced, and for the rest of you, that's DVR or now just streaming. It was like the
that was a big deal
digital
back then.
recording instead of recording on your VCR. And so when I walked in, I see the rose petals and I hear music playing, and I walk in the room and he's saying, I Want to Grow Old with You from The Wedding Singer.
I love that
And then
song.
he surprised me at our wedding and sang it to me there too.
Oh,
Did you
I didn't
actually
know
get the
that.
TiVo?
No.
That's the only downside.
We couldn't even afford cable. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it was
That's
really, really
sweet.
sweet.
That is
I
really
love
sweet.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much.
He did a pretty good job.
Props to Brian. Shout out to Brian.
Sexual butler.
Oh man. So your chapter MVP was the dead guy.
Stephen Rostis, yeah.
Stephen Rostis. Who was your chapter MVP?
Mine was Rowan. Bravo, dude, for
Me
the best
too.
and most fitting proposal ever. And his speech when he asked her was just the most sincere,
really
sweet
sweet.
thing.
It really was
Yeah.
sweet.
That was one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
Was the end of that little proposal. Yeah. He's my MVP too. Like the eyeball engagement is perfect. The dragon onesie, the surprise wedding, like those were all him, his brainchild. He put in all the work so that Sloane could just enjoy, right, and enjoy like being loved. And I just really love that. I thought that was really sweet.
Sweetheart.
He's a good one. What about favorite secondary character?
And mine was Stephen Ross's left eye socket.
Okay, tell me why, and then I'll tell you mine.
It got the job done.
Okay. Mine was Rowan's boner on the way to Theon's. It's because it's what started it all. So Sloane is talking about how Rowan has realized she pierced her nipples.
Yeah.
And she's teasing him because she could tell how, like, have you ever been so turned on you're like uncomfortable? And she said she was watching him like shift in the seat. She's got the Carhartt logo like embedded on
Stamped,
her
yeah.
face from this guy's foot, right? And she's like, oh my God, he's got a boner. That's hilarious. And so I love that she's teasing him about having a boner about her pierced nipples.
Yeah.
What was yours, Whitney?
Mine was Lachlan. Mine was a character.
Hey,
No.
those are characters.
I just love
that one stands up on its own all the time.
I just love Lachlan generally, but I really loved that he walked Sloane down the aisle
I
because
know.
that is a very sweet, like, moving gesture when someone doesn't have like family blood related to them for whatever reason to walk them down the aisle. Like anybody that steps in to do that for you, I just think is really like that's very moving to me, and it just shows how much he really loves her, and like he sees her as his sister, like long before she actually marries Rowan. And I think I love Lachlan, which bodes well for me for
for the
Leather
next
and Lark.
book.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about favorite quotes?
For me, it has to be the silly dragon role playing. So Rowan says, I'm not Rowan, I'm Saul, and I'm going to breed you, little human. And then he says, a sentient dragon man knows not why it's a talking dragon, only that it must make little dragonlings with its 2 dicks. And then it says, Rowan tries not to smile as I giggle maniacally. And this was kind of hot. He goes, run, human. And I was like, run!
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing.
That whole scene
That made
was
me
It was
laugh.
actually really sweet. It's funny. It's just who he is, right? And yeah, it was just so funny.
That made me laugh out loud. like with the my two dicks or whatever. That made me laugh a lot. I went sweet. I have two. I went sweet.
That was sweet. Shut up.
One for Rowan and one from Sloane. So when he's proposing, Rowan says, "So marry me, Sloane. We'll go on crazy adventures together forever and fuck shit up and be best friends and do karate in the garage and make love every day and grow old together. Because I can't imagine anyone I'd rather spend all those moments with than you."
Can I say, because I know you're going to still go sweet, I love when Sloane goes, "By karate in the garage, do you mean bending me over that guy's car?"
That made me laugh too. And then the end of the bonus chapter, Sloane is with Lachlan getting ready to like walk down the aisle, and she says, "I take one breath and then I walk from the shadows to the sun." And that's how the chapter ends. I know. I was sitting outside the other day when it was like 83 degrees outside. It literally gave me chills. Aww. And then when I typed it for my notes, it gave me chills again. Like the next day.
And then she went and fucked Robbie and all her chills were gone.
If only. He was already gone. He's out of town today. But I thought that was really sweet. I loved that so much. So what were your quotes, Mindy?
Mine always tend to go towards the like silly or funny. And so I had a couple. One, of course, I love the word skullduggery. So I loved when Sloane goes, "I call skullduggery." And then Rowan says, "Skullduggery? Does this mean you're going to put on a sexy pirate costume and fuck me while you're wearing an eye patch?"
See, I wondered if she used the phrase skullduggery because she has to dig into that guy's skull to get the ring out. I felt like it was like a little bit of a callback.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Because she says it in one of the earlier chapters.
Oh, does she?
I cannot remember which chapter it is. It's one of their competitions. It's either
even are you?
It's either the West Virginia guy or Thorst. It must be the West Virginia guy where she says something about Rowan doing skullduggery, and he's like, "What are you talking about? I don't even know what that means." And they like talk about it.
I think it's the first one when they're talking about the
dragons, and the pirates.
Oh, so it's a callback to that same scene. Okay, got
I
it.
think so.
But then I also loved when Rowan says to Lachlan, "Why are you wearing old man glasses? You look like you're about to do a crossword puzzle and fall asleep in your lazy boy recliner."
I highlighted that too. I loved that.
He's like, "I'm only 2 years older than you. Shut up."
Shut up, Bellin.
But then that might be when he said that. I love that because it reminded me of how that's a thing. His glasses are a thing in Leather and Lark.
Couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure, of course I could be remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing. And like he reads the book and he's got his glasses. Anyway, there's a thing about the glasses in Leather and Lark.
I'm excited to get there.
I know.
That actually brings me to one of my questions, which is I don't remember anything from Leather and Lark. So I said, "Who is the Phantom and what is his deal?" Because I don't remember.
I didn't remember that was the Phantom. So my questions was like, did Sloane and Rowan go after the forest Phantom?
Right. Yeah. Like what happened?
Yeah. And then I wrote, "Who the fuck is the nut bar?" quoting scripture at the end.
I wrote too in all caps, "Who is Anna? Why is Anna?" It
took me a second. Anna is the girl.
No,
okay,
I know, but what?
Why was she there?
Yeah, she just pops up.
He makes a comment about how they've become close. Remember when the restaurant opens?
Yeah,
but it took me a minute because I was like, who's Anna?
We as the readers, like, we don't know who she is.
I wonder if she's going to come into the story in a bigger way at some point. Because it was weird that she kept coming up.
I don't remember her from Leather and Lark. Maybe she's in Leather and Lark more. I don't remember that book.
I don't remember.
But I'm just like, it's weird to me that she is such a good close friend of both of these main characters now by the end of this book, and we still know nothing about her. Who is she?
Yeah, it's really
like
weird.
What?
And all of a sudden she's part of the inner circle.
Well, yeah, because Sloane in the second book is spending time with Rosie. Like I don't remember, but again, I've only read Leather and Lark once.
Me too.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of revelations.
It's gonna be
as
fun.
we read it the second time.
My only question was parroting your all's, "Who is this phantom fucker?"
Well, I did.
What? When?
What is going on here?
I did wonder if Lark did dance with Lachlan at the wedding, because that's like the thing that Sloane tells him he has to do.
I do remember that from Leather and Lark.
Okay, and then
that's in the book.
I want to know if Sloane ever tells her parents that she got married. Because that's like the thing. She doesn't want to invite them.
I didn't even remember that her parents were like alive. Yeah. In my brain, they were.
And like she talks about how they've never mistreated her. It's just that they act like she's not there. Like they never should have had children.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Like it's weird too because she basically was raised by Lark's family, right? Didn't she go after everything that happened?
I can't remember if that school was supposed to be like high school or college.
I think it was high school.
So
I think it was like boarding school.
yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
Well.
I don't know. Yeah, her parents are an enigma.
Yeah, I
don't know what's
literally
going on
thought
there.
they were passed.
I didn't think they were in the picture at all.
I didn't remember
Yeah.
until the bonus chapter. Any other questions before we talk about what we were looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Leather and Lark.
Yeah, I just wrote.
I know, me too.
I wrote Lachlan in all capital letters. Well, then that brings us to our fan cast. When we are on the last episode of a book, we fan cast some of the main characters. And this book, we have a different
Take
way.
on it,
Yeah,
yeah.
a different way to do fan casting. So we're all going to fan cast Sloane and Rowan and David, but then we chose our own favorite killer. Is not not really what I mean. Your favorite competition scene, the killer that they were going after in your favorite competition scene, casting that, and then a background character from one of your favorite scenes. So let's talk about Sloane first.
All right.
Who'd you guys pick?
I picked Jessica Stroop. She is in the newer 90210. She was in Iron Fist. She's on the Following with Kevin Bacon, who was a late 2010 show. If you saw her, you'd recognize her. She's been in tons of stuff, but she has dark, black hair. She has light blue eyes, just really striking and gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that's just who I've pictured the whole time, because she has a very badass kind of persona too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Who's yours, Mindy?
I picked Jenna Ortega.
Oh.
I think that she's got a girlish look to her, but she's also pretty badass.
Yeah.
And she can play sexy. She can play goofy.
Yeah.
I think she's got a good range for Sloane.
Yeah, I can see that. I picked Leighton Meester. And honestly, I think she was in my brain because of Adam Brody in that new show that I keep seeing everybody posting about it. But yeah, I know that Leighton Meester from Gossip Girl, she's good at being a super bitch.
Right.
Yeah. But she can be vulnerable. She can be badass. You know what I mean? That character in Gossip Girl had those kind of different facets. So
I can see that.
I think she would be good. So, but maybe I just like Adam Brody and therefore I like Leighton Meester because she's married to him. So
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
What about Rowan?
So I, the whole time, had pictured a celebrity that I'm not going to say the name of because they were canceled a couple years ago because a bunch of allegations came out ahead of them. And I'll just say cannibalism, and probably everyone will know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I pictured the whole time. So I looked up someone who looked like this person because I don't want to recognize this person. And this guy's name is Wyatt Nash. He plays 7th on the 22nd season of Survivor, but has also been on some episodes of Riverdale and Pretty Little Liars. But he's a really tall, buff guy, blondish brown hair, very striking eyes. So that's what I pictured.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I do not know who you're talking about.
The guy.
Yeah, so you'll have to tell me after.
Because I don't want to.
I hope it's not the guy
I don't want to
picked.
give him credit. It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
I picked Colin O'Donoghue.
Me too.
No way.
Yes.
Yes, because Hook from
Yes.
Once Upon a Time. I mean, then
I mean, he's actually Irish in real life.
I know, right?
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Irish. Okay. So I
That's
ended
so
up picking
funny.
him too, but I had to look up fan art to see what this character was supposed to look like.
I know he's supposed to have dark hair, and I kept picturing him as blonde, and I don't know
Well,
why.
when I think Irish, I think Conan O'Brien. And I know that's not right.
Do you know there's actually a term? It's called dark Irish. That's what they're called when they have dark hair like that.
I'm
Like
dark
Colin
Irish.
O'Donoghue?
I'm 50% Irish.
Yeah, he is very yummy. Colin O'Donoghue, not Conan O'Brien. Although, Conan O'Brien, I guess, whatever. You do you. He was Killian / Captain Hook in Once Upon a Time. And I really like him a lot. He's
I do too.
so good at being the charming villain.
Yes.
Like the Rhysand type character where you're I think I'm supposed to not like you, but I can't help but like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's super cute.
That's so funny.
That is funny. So that brings us to David, the one that you think has a lobotomy but doesn't have a lobotomy and is actually the big bad at the end of the book.
Yes.
So I had a hard time with this. So I'm curious to hear who you guys.
I knew exactly who I wanted.
I have a confession to make. When you put David in the show notes, I thought you meant the first killer guy. And now I understand that I'm wrong.
The West Virginia guy?
Yeah, so now I have to tell you who I thought he looked like. 'Cause
Okay, I did him as my favorite
did
competition.
too.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
you guys stop it.
So who I thought was David, who was the West Virginia guy, I put Gerard Way, who's the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. Wouldn't he wear little skinny pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked up I was trying to find descriptions of both David and the West Virginia guy, and there are not really very many descriptors for either guy, but Rowan says that the West Virginia guy's name is Francis, says that he's a emo wannabe fuckboy is how he describes him.
Which is Gerard Way.
Which totally fits that.
Yeah.
I picked an actor named Jared Chandler that you guys will recognize as David from Teen Witch.
Oh.
Randa's like super creep cousin with the glasses and the like the bouffant hair. That's like, he's kind of cute. Oh no, he's a creep.
For Francis,
okay. The West Virginia guy. I was but him in Teen Witch, like not him now, him as David, Randa's cousin in Teen Witch.
I went a totally different way. I don't know why I thought he was just like, he reminded me more of like an older guy that like lived with his mom forever. And like, so I picked Michael Emerson.
Oh, he's on Lost.
He was on Lost. He was the
oh yeah, he is
because he's creepy.
He's good at being creepy.
Yeah. so I'd forgotten about that he was supposed to look more emo,
like a fuck boy.
Yeah.
A wannabe.
I don't know. In my head, he was like an old dude that like still.
I mean, that works too.
I can fan cast David on the fly though. I pictured like Jared Leto when he had his like short hair.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Like, because I think he's supposed to be like he was a good-looking man, right? And like he has been lobotomized.
That's how I cast him.
Yeah, right. And so I kind of pictured Jared Leto used to have like it's kind of like a faux hawk, but it was really really short, and that's kind of how I pictured him.
Yeah. Who did you pick?
I pictured Jared Leto for everything.
It's like the
Sloane, Jared Leto.
Yeah, it's like the Henry Cavill. Yeah. Who'd you pick for David?
I picked Evan Peters. I think.
Yeah, he would be
because
great.
he's kind of charming. He's got boyish good looks. I picture David as looking like younger. He's also very very creepy.
Yeah, he can be creepy.
and he can
Doesn't
be attractive.
he play a serial killer in a movie?
He plays Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's right. Yeah.
But he also plays a lot in American Horror Story. He was
all
kinds of characters in that.
WandaVision.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the what?
WandaVision.
That's right.
He was the brother.
He's the brother.
He's the Flash, whatever the Flash character is in X-Men Origins, First Class or whatever.
Yeah.
The prequel.
He's actually a really, really good actor too.
He is. Yeah. He's
very
really
versatile.
Good. Well, for my David, I picked an actor, Daniel Bruhl. His name is German, so I'm sure that's not the correct pronunciation, but I know him from Marvel. He is a professor. Couldn't tell you what his character's name is, but he's in the Winter Soldier Marvel movie, and then he's in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show on Disney Plus. Okay. He's like a villain, but not a villain, a super charming bad guy,
morally gray
kind of guy. He's very good at being the villain, but still being likable too. Yeah. And I think he's really handsome too. Like I think David is supposed to be. So,
like I think you're supposed to be like, oh my gosh, he had his whole life ahead of him, and like not that. Okay, let me preface or say, not that if he was ugly, you wouldn't feel that way. But I think I
that's psychologically scientifically proven that you do have more sympathy and more likability toward people that you find attractive. Yeah. That's a true thing.
So I'm not an asshole.
No, that's not. I mean, maybe it makes us all assholes.
But on the Bell-in test, I'm gonna rate very high. I told you that.
It is proven. Literally, all of us do that subconsciously. Okay. So. Don't worry about it.
It's all good.
We're all good.
I'll work on my unconscious bias.
Yeah, we all need to, don't we?
Right. Yeah.
So, who did you guys pick for the background character that you?
Oh, okay.
cast?
So we're not doing favorite. We're doing background character first. Okay.
What? However.
So I don't know why, but the killer at the very beginning that she has killed, and there's like the orzo pasta everywhere, and she's locked in the cage. I picture a real life version of Hank Hill.
Yes.
Like white wife beater, low cut, like jeans where like his ass cracks hanging out.
Yeah.
He's overweight. He's got a receding hairline.
Yeah.
He probably has like spaghetti down the front of his shirt.
Totally fits what I would picture.
Hank Hill.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So that's your favorite.
So Hank Hill is
that's who you fan cast as the killer in your.
No, the favorite secondary background character.
Okay.
Yeah.
I picked Rose.
Oh, nice.
And I picked an actress called, and I hadn't heard of her before, but when I looked her up, she just screamed Rose to me. Her name is Palm Clementif, It's French.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. And I didn't really recognize anything else that she was in. Like, you know me, I don't watch a whole lot. But I just think she looks gorgeous. She's got this, like, I can picture her. I don't know why I picture Rose with red hair. But this girl's got this, like, messy pixie cut, like, and she's got a little bit of an Asian vibe to her. I don't know. She just looks really, to me, badass, like Rose would be. And, like, that she could, like, do circus stuff and, like, contort her body and whatnot.
Hello. What's yours, Whitney?
Well, I only did one more. I just did a background character, so I guess I did it wrong.
Well, didn't we have our killer
No, we had our
featured in
killer.
our favorite competition scene?
That was the Francis.
That's the one you picked for
That-
Francis.
that's who
Okay.
I did.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Well, I don't think Mindy and I have said ours.
Well, no,
for
I
that.
She
told you
did
my
Francis,
Francis,
too.
too.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go then. Mine was Thorsten.
Oh, okay.
He's my favorite, like, competition scene killer because,
Nice.
like, I would fall for come have this bougie ass dinner at my house, right? And I
Like, ooh, yay.
yeah, I cast him as Alan Cummings.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I
got
can
like that
definitely see that.
distinct flair, and you can see him in like a
Yeah.
little bow tie, and he's like, "But darling, you need to try the wine."
Yeah.
And like he could be
Very,
super
like,
creepy.
pretentious. And
Yes,
yeah.
that's a really
I
good
like
one.
that one.
Let's make it happen.
Bryn Weaver casting.
Yeah.
We're talking to you.
That's-
Is it going to be a movie or a show? A movie, right?
I
don't
want to say a
know.
movie, but I'm really not sure.
I kind of wish it was going to be a show, but
Something.
yeah.
There's
Did you
still
tell us
time.
who your secondary was?
My secondary what?
Your favorite, your background character. That
Kind
No.
of bounced all around. Sorry.
No. So we did Sloan, we did Rowan, we did David, we did the killer featured in our favorite competition scene, and then last was background character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done background character yet. I picked Meg, the hostess at 3 and Coach when Sloan shows up.
She was one of my favorites too. and
I almost picked
cast
her too, yeah.
Which again, there weren't that many descriptors,
Yeah.
but there were enough descriptors. So
Yes.
she's described in 2 different scenes. The first time that Sloan goes where she's just like a nameless hostess, and then the second time she knows the girl's name. So she's supposed to be a blonde bombshell with a sparkling smile, and it says that she has blue eyes. So I literally Googled blonde hair, blue eyes actress. And I found this really gorgeous girl named Molly Gray, who's been in some different Disney stuff. She fits when I think blonde bombshell with a dazzling smile, or like
But you're
that's-
picturing like very young, right? Like
Yes.
first job type.
I don't think-
not high school, but like college. for
Yeah,
sure.
I think she's like older than she looks, but she looks young enough to like be a hostess at a like very hip restaurant.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right, yeah.
But yeah, her name's Molly Gray. She's really cute.
I'll have to look her up.
I linked her in the show notes.
I had to really stop myself from not because I know who my fan casts are for Lachlan and Lark.
I know, right?
I was having a
know.
really hard time not putting them down.
Yeah, we'll do them in a
Yeah.
few weeks.
We'll get to them.
Who were your all's background characters? Did you already do them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mine was Rose.
Oh.
See, that's what I meant. Sorry, we kind of bounced around.
Oh. Well, that's it for our podcast. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say about Butcher and Blackbird before we say so long?
No. Just
Well,
that I
see
love
ya.
it.
This is a goodbye for now. So next week, guys, we are starting our discussion on Leather and Lark. We're going to talk about the prologue through chapter 5.
See you then.
Don't be a
Bye.
bell end.
Bye.
Like what you heard in this episode? Follow Our Nerdiest Thing on Instagram at instagram.com/Our Nerdiest Thing or Facebook at facebook.com/Our Nerdiest Thing. We love hearing from fellow nerds. Email us at ournerdiestthing@gmail.com.